My first love was track and field. I ran. I think those are even underwear I'm wearing, and not proper shorts. I had to get some shorts from Dick's Sporting Goods, and I had to go to the women's section and buy some like booty shorts to wear. I knew nothing. I showed up like it was a hot body contest, man. And then when I saw people backstage, to me, they just look like male strippers, like right.
Like, should I get that vibe?
Yeah. But I was determined, determined like a German, and I did. I have a wife and 3 kids. I don't think I would compete if I was neglecting my duties in this household. And I sat on the sidelines for 6 years. I put my money where my mouth was. I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to be present.
All right, bodybuilding fans, welcome to Live with the IFBB Pros. We have the king himself, King AJ, in the house. Actually, before we get into those deep questions, I'll just go for some rapid fire questions just to warm you up. So, Jeremy Buendia, Brandon Hendrickson, or Ryan Terry?
Oh, man.
That's a
Brandon Hendrickson.
Oh, nice one. Arnold, Ronnie, or Dorian Yates?
Arnold, Ronnie, all day.
Nice chance. Take us back to the start. What got you into bodybuilding and physique sports, and what did you understand about the journey back then?
And for me, it was injuries. My first love was track and field. I ran the 800 meters. It wasn't a horrible race, man. if I was faster, I would have ran a 1 or a 2. But the 800 was a sweet spot for me. So, it's a man's race, man. The only thing worse than that is 400 hurdles, maybe. But that was my first love. I found passion for the first time then, and I realized. Well, I didn't realize that passion is what got me to surface to the top. I was too young. I was just, I found something I liked, and I didn't want to lose. I knew what hard work was about, and I was all about it. But I was able to put all that hard work in and do more than the other kids were able to do because I was passionate about it. I didn't understand that yet, right? Mm-hmm. That lesson came when I came into bodybuilding. So what got me into bodybuilding was I transitioned from that to MMA, and Jiu Jitsu and MMA. And I had a nasty tricep tear back in 2010, I believe.
Oh wow!
That's 2010. And man, I hit rock bottom for me for a second, man. I've never had an injury like that took me out. So I was blessed in that sense. But that tricep tear did something to me, man. I was fell into a little bit of a spiral. I went hanging out with my friends again that weren't really doing much. Right? They all worked. We all worked, but they didn't really have any hobbies or anything. They just work and they drink. That's what they did. So with my arm in a sling, I fell in the suit and just started drinking and hanging out with them. Push came to shove. I ended up getting a DUI. It was a horrible, horrible experience, man. What's crazy is I didn't talk about it for years. I talk about it now because that loss turned into a lesson. But it changed the trajectory of my life. So I share that crappy story now, even though I still don't like telling it. But I share it and I'm open about it now because I learned something from it, right? But it changed the trajectory of my life. It was a tough year, right?
That was 2010 or just before 2010?
Yeah, 2010, I believe it was. 2009. 2009, 2010 time frame is when I tore that tricep, and so it took me a while to recover from that.
That's crazy though. That was like the beginning of your like stage journey, no?
Yeah. So right. But that's so if I wouldn't have got injured, I still would have been doing jiu-jitsu and MMA. Oh no! So the injury is what got me. At that time, I was 34. I'm like, maybe I'm getting a little too old. Combat sports, be banging with these young guys like this. I need to find something with some longevity, right? I have to find another hobby to pour into. I can't just work 40 hours a week, clock in, clock out. Like as a man, you got to have more. You have to have a purpose. Yeah. And so I found that in bodybuilding. I can control my environment. I can push as hard as I need to, and there's longevity to this, right? And there's some health good. I mean, it can go unhealthy, but there's a lot of health benefits to this as well. So for me, it was more from my mental stating. So I got into bodybuilding. A buddy of mine from the UK was telling me, "Hey, I have a mate over here that does the underwear modeling. Maybe you can get in that." I'm like, "Get out of my face!" Right? Yeah, I'm just coming. All my friends are punching and kicking each other in the face, in the stomach or whatnot. And you're talking about
Now you want to transition?
yeah, transition to that. Like, man, I wasn't ready for that kind of that kind of banter, man. I wasn't trying to catch that kind of heat. So I'm like, whatever. But he planted that seed, and then I happened to be like in a Barnes and Nobles or a bookstore, like a bookstore, and I'm getting a coffee, standing in line. I looked over, and I saw a magazine, a men's health magazine or something like that, right? Some dude on the cover with the shirt off, right? Got abs, and then I started reading the little tags on the magazine and said, "Oh, how to get summer abs on page 58 or something like that," right? I'm sure I didn't flip to the page, but I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of workout or whatnot. I thought to myself, I could probably do that.
Wow.
Right? Because I've always being lean wasn't an issue. I was lean through college, lean through the track and field, lean through
And fighting as well, yeah.
Yeah, so having abs and being lean wasn't something new. Like I always had that. I always had some kind of a muscle. So I had muscle on me, some kind of a physique, just from doing sports, right? So yeah, I thought, okay, well, how do I go from looking at this magazine to being in one? I don't know. I didn't know who to contact or whatnot. So I hit up some local photographers in the area, and the guy I talked to that I knew personally, he's like, I don't do anything like that, but I know someone who has got who's gotten published in some fitness magazine. You may want to give him a holler. So I hollered at him, set up a photo shoot, and sure enough, I dieted for like 6 months. I looked up something on some forum. I think I ate chicken, rice, and broccoli for like 5 meals a day every single day. Same meal for 6 weeks straight, bro. Because I wasn't versed as I am now, but I was determined like a German, and I did. I got shredded, but I wasn't even eating rice. That's what it was. It was broccoli. It was like vegetables and like chicken, and I would boil my chicken because I found some old school bodybuilding forum. I didn't understand what they're boiling chicken for, but I boiled the sodium out of it. I was eating boiled chicken, and like broccoli for 6 weeks straight.
Oh, wow.
I didn't understand the carbs was the energy source. I wasn't even eating high fats, but I lost a lot of weight fast in 6 weeks. But I lost a lot of muscle too. Yeah. But so for the photo shoot, my first photo shoot, my face was so sunken in because I wasn't taking any carbs. My body looked good, but my face looked horrible. So all of the shots, I had to look away at an angle. Like
man.
Right. Yeah. So that was my first time. Yeah. And I love how my body responded to it. I've never seen, I've always been lean, but never that lean. So I'm like, okay. And then in that shoot, we borrowed a guy's gym, and he's like, hey, do you compete? I'm like, compete at what? Like, what do you mean? He's like, physique shows, bodybuilding. It's like, nah, I'm good. And then I looked up on the wall, and he had all these pictures, but he was in the WBFF back then.
Oh, okay.
And so he had all these pictures on the wall. And back then, the WBFF used to have a what they call it? I forget the name of the round. It was like a femur round.
Yeah.
Right. And and you can just dress as whatever. Some people were like police officers.
Oh yeah, they still have that actually.
Yeah, or a skateboarder or whatever, firefighter, right? And they're all built. So, but to me, they just look like male strippers, like, right?
Oh, should I get that vibe?
Yeah, it was a weird vibe. Like, it was weird, like village people. Like, they look good, but it was like either like a village people vibe or like male stripper vibe. I'm like, man, got from either one of those. And at that time, I wasn't even cool just being in these little tiny little shorts, being on stage, being judged by these people with clothes on. I'm like, this whole thing sounds like whack. It's all whack. Nah. But anyways, he was like, if you're trying to get into the fitness modeling thing and do your little, your little thing on the camera and whatnot, and try to get published work, there really isn't a market. Like, there's no market. It's not like normal, like regular modeling, right? Like high fashion modeling. It's not the same. So you make a name for yourself. You should probably do these fitness competitions, and you'll grow faster that way and get your name out there. So I'm like, okay. So now I had to look at bodybuilding as a step to get to where I wanted to go to. Right. That was my introduction to that WBFF. I think those are even underwear I'm wearing, and not proper shorts. I had to get some shorts from Dick's Sporting Goods, and I had to go to the women's section and buy some like booty shorts to wear. I knew nothing. I showed up like it was a hot body contest, man. And then when I saw people backstage unzipping, coming up out of their warm-ups and sweats, looking crazy. I'm like, crap. Like, and I look good for a hot body contest or going to the beach or whatever, but these guys are on a different level. I didn't know that. And then I saw black people standing in line trying to get tan. I'm like, why are they tanning? right? Like, why are they not tanning?
Whoa.
Yes, my head was on a swivel. I didn't bring food or what, nothing. I just showed up with these shorts in my hands to get on stage. It was crazy. That was my first.
Speaking of, I've been very curious to know this. What's your roots like? Like, I'm guessing like Blasian.
Yeah.
But am I right?
Yeah. Spot on, man. My mother's Japanese, fresh off the boat. She still has an accent. And my father, who's passed, he's African American.
Oh,
So I
wow.
grew up with a military father and a Japanese mother. It was a pretty strict upbringing,
Wow.
right? Which is probably why my life is so organized the way it is now, right? It's that
That's
discipline.
awesome.
One thing they didn't shy away from.
And good genetics too, honestly. Good genetics. And then you've been competing since 2010. That's 15 years in the game. And now you're heading into year 16. So what's allowed you to stay relevant, competitive, dangerous at this age as well? Most athletes are long retired. Most athletes are already like giving excuses of like injuries. And you started with an injury too. So like, what is it like? What has allowed you to stay this long?
I don't think it's one particular thing. I think it's a handful of things, right? I'll go ahead and put it out there. The first one is people take too much stuff. They take too much PEDs. More isn't always better, right? And these younger guys, they look at, cats like myself or whoever, and they want it yesterday. They want it today.
Wow.
Right? They haven't put in a solid foundation, right? Training natty first for decades on end, tapping out your natural genetics, right? And then, and only if then, right? If you're making a career out of this, and you're making a smart decision, an educated decision to go that route of dabbling in PEDs, get the blood work done, all right? And if you don't know what you're doing, get a coach that knows what he's doing. Get a coach that's going to ask for the blood work, right? Because when you do that, you get ahead of so many issues and ailments. And you do it the right way. You do it every 3 months. You're ahead of you're healthier than the general population. Because I want to play offense with my health, not defense. I want to find out when symptoms pop up and I'm showing up in the clinic because of the symptoms. It's too late a lot of times. It can be, right? If I can look 3 months into the future, right, or predict something in the future and get ahead of it, then I'm gonna do that. I want to be smart about this. That's where the longevity comes in. That's why I'm 49. I just got a 6-year-old boy. I popped out a 6-year-old. Well, I didn't pop him out, but I put a hand in while my wife popped him out, right? Right. And so I think that's crucial. And a lot of people don't think about that getting into the sport, about their future. They think about the here and the now, but what about later? Do I want a family? Do I want to have kids? All these things, right?
Wow, that's amazing to hear, to be honest with you.
I think that's the main one, but injuries as well. For me, I was young. As guys, we tend to not really take. We take care of ourselves in the way we go to the gym, right? But when we're injured, we don't do much. We just sit and kind of fall back. We get really lazy, and it's just we're not the smartest when we get injured. And I was like that for years, right? I'll chalk it up to just being immature, right? It hurts, I just rest. But now if something hurts, I'm into finding out why. Right? So I will do my own research and dig, or get with a professional to sort it out and figure out why. And for the longest time, my knees were ate up, man. I had the worst knees, and doctors who misdiagnosed me, telling me I had early onset of arthritis.
Wow.
So I've always been on the side of doctors don't know everything, right? 2020 just confirmed it, but they pre-diagnosed me with early onset of arthritis in my 30s or whatever.
What?
I was broken. I believed them because I was hurt, man. I was so broken. But the frustrating part for me was that I didn't have an accident or some crazy injury that put me out, right? Yeah. So I'm seeing people tear stuff, rip stuff from sports and accidents, and they bounce back and they're back in the game after about a year or so. I was injured. My knees were hurting they progressively got worse over the course of a decade. And I've been in knee pain for 12, 13, 14, 15, 14 years, probably 13 years. Only now am I to a point where I can train legs, and they're not 100%, but I'm damn near close. And I can do all the things I did in my early 20s I do now. And I'll be 50 in April. What happened? Did I cure arthritis? No. Nope. The doctor misdiagnosed me. And he wasn't the only doctor I saw. I saw other chiropractic physio. I saw all these medical professionals. They couldn't figure out crap with my knees. And some maybe gave me one thing that may have helped. But after about 15 years of me being broke, 14 years of me being broke, I became the professional of my knees more than any one doctor, right? I took some good piece of information from here, from there, and kind of pieced together my own protocol. At the end of the day, what helped me out was dry needling.
Like at the Cairo, right?
I even did stem cells. I did stem cells. That was a pretty abrasive deal because they took it from me, my hips. So they laid me down on a table. They took a drill, just like a Black & Decker drill, drilled through my bone and my hips. I was awake. I could feel it. It's crazy. They sucked the bone marrow out, and then they gave it to a rep, a medical rep. They spun it in a centrifuge, and they pulled out white platelets and my stem cells, and then they injected it back in.
And that's when they still thought it was arthritis, right?
At that point, I wasn't thinking it was arthritis.
Oh, okay.
I've already I went through rehab and all that stuff, and I realized that doctor was wrong. So I was still hunting and searching for answers. Thank goodness. Yeah. So, but the stem cells, it brought me. See, I paid like $5-6 grand for that abrasive thing. It worked up until a certain point. I wouldn't say it didn't bring me back. It brought me back maybe 70-75%. So still very frustrated with how much I spent and what I went through to only be at 70%. For me, the rest of it was this it was doing soft tissue work. The dry needling, infrared sauna worked the best for me. That got me back. That and doing my own Graston and stretching and these little exercises that my physio had sent, my chiropractor had sent me home with. I was on it like a dog. And after about a year of doing this, I'd go like every other week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, just dry needling sessions. Finally, after about a year, because I was in pain, my muscles were locked up the way they were for so long. It took a year for my muscles to kind of release and go back to to let go. Now I don't have to get my knees, my quads dry needle anymore, right? But I've used that technique on my shoulder. That brought me back because at one point I couldn't bench either, my elbow. So aside from being smart with the PED usage, it's also taking care of myself, right? When something hurts, I don't just sit around and just, it hurts, I'll just let it go. Right? Because I'm on borrowed time. I'm 50. Well, I don't have 5-6 years to sit around and wait to see if something gets better or not. I'm trying to get better like today.
So are you big on recovery then? Like you used to do like all the cardio and everything?
Sauna in the basement, right?
Wow.
And then this year, peptides has been a massive help, right? BPC 157, TB 500, the Wolverine stack. Awesome for cartilage, ligament, tendons, that kind of stuff.
So we're going to get into that in a second as well.
I'm not into the bro supplements talking about proteins and nah, but I'll talk about stuff that heal you on a cellular level from the inside out, doing heavy metal detoxing, that kind of stuff, right? Look, the only reason why you can tell I'm 40 anything is because I got gray hairs.
Gray hair, literally, it's only because you get the gray hair.
See my skin.
Yeah, for real. Do you see it as a part of like? It's my
brand now. It's my trade.
Exactly.
People just recognize me just off of this. If I dye this out, it won't look the same and it'll change everything. Plus, like because I don't have wrinkled up skin, I do want people to understand I'm not 30. I'm not 30.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this kind of gives a hint to how old I really am, right? So I keep it. Yeah, I keep it now. Dye straight black. But yeah, man. But it's your nutrition, right? The supplements you use, supplementations you use, and then if you're into like, I'm into just again healing from the inside out and cellular level. And I didn't really come to that point until about 2020 when I really saw the world going sideways. I thought, well, gotta health, because nowadays being healthy is hard. Like back in the day, you can make healthy you can consciously make healthy choices and then be okay. Now, like, I'm gonna drink almond milk, so I hear it's healthy. Well, now look what's in the almond milk, like Silk and those two major brands, Silk and what's the other major brand? Nonetheless, you look at the back of that and you'll see like 10 or plus more ingredients in almond milk. Real almond milk, you're supposed to have water, whether purified water or whatever, spring water, almonds, some salt, sea salt, something like that. Maybe 3 ingredients, maybe a 4th ingredient. That's it. Then, yeah, you're making a healthy decision. But you grab that Silk or Almond Breeze, that's the other crap.
Oh, Almond Breeze, yeah, that's
one of the best too. I want to say that name. Silk and Almond Breeze. You drink that crap, you might as well just drink
It's like,
Coca-Cola.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. And that's the issue today. Is like it's having the notion to be healthy and thinking you're making conscious decisions and healthy decisions. It's not good enough now. You got to dig and do research.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks about today's time.
And then you mentioned your wife earlier on. A lot of women say this a lot, and like I've been able to coach up to like 100 women now in group training mostly. And when you just bring up anything like, oh, lifting heavy weights or lifting heavier, they go, I don't want to get too muscular. I don't want to look like a man, or I don't want to lose my femininity. Like, given that you and your wife, you're really big in fitness, you've been successfully able to like run your fitness life basically for this long. What do you actually think about that mindset? What do you think? Yeah, what do you think can be done?
It's dated. It's just a dated mindset, right? The information that gets passed along that people just kind of adopt, right? First of all, sis, don't flatter yourself. You'll never look like me. You can't. You don't have enough in your body. Settle down, right? That's first, right? And here's the real kicker. Whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, you should be in the gym lifting as much as you possibly can. Your workouts shouldn't change, right? I can cut someone with the same workout I can bulk someone on. What changes is a lifestyle, right? The foods you eat and how much steps you take, like that's the stuff that changes whether you're bulking or cutting. The foods, the workouts should be lifting heavy, right? Not light weights and a lot of like just do cardio. That's cardio. Do cardio. When you lift weights, right? So that's my 2 cents on that. Like for women, you got to think of lifting weights as creating curves. Curves. That's what it is, right? When a female understands that and goes hard in the gym, she snatches in her waist, right? And then gets bubbly in the right places.
Exactly.
That's what lifting weights. That's what lifting is. Right?
Yeah, that's as long as you're intentional, right? I love that. Love that. And then at 49, you're 49 right now, right? You're gonna be 50 this year.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so at 49 years young, you're stepping onto stages. You're still killing it. So what changed the most about how you train? You mentioned already like how recovery is a big aspect, how you recover and how you think compared to those early years when you first started, when you were like you said, like even the nutrition, you didn't really know much and you were just like doing it based off passion. So what has really changed now that, through your experience?
A lot of people say age is nothing but a number. I see that a lot on my posts. Oh man, age is nothing but a number. Yes and no. Right. Age still matters. I don't train the same way as I did 10, 15 years ago. I have this one YouTube video that's circulating. It's annoyed because it's not my video, so someone's making money off it. I don't even know how many millions of views it has. It's a chest workout that I did like back in 2015 maybe. But I filmed it. I did, and I was actually just weeks out from a show, so it was a pretty crazy workout. It's 10 times 10 on flat bench. It's on YouTube, yeah. I think, and my 10th set, I'm hitting 275. Right, so 10 times 10 on the flat bench, and then 5 times 10 or 15 on 5 times 10 or 15 on incline, 5 times 10 on incline, and then 5 sets of flies, something like that. Pretty gnarly workout. Don't do that.
My chest hurts right now.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh man, I'm still using your chest." I'm like, "That's not a workout that you're supposed to do every week, man." That's like, I was trying to see what I was made of that day, what I had in the tank. But now, because I am older, I've lowered my volume, but I've increased my frequency.
Okay.
That makes sense, right? So I'm not doing like crazy work. Because I can do that, but I won't recover like I did in my 30s and 20s, right? It's going to take me a long time to recover from that. But if I cut back on my volume, I can hit muscle groups with more frequency. Right? There's a caveat to that, though. I also brought in peptides this year that helped me do that, helped me feel younger, right? Help me help me actually be younger, like reverse my biological age. Right. And so because of that, I was able to train with higher frequency and my recovery was better. Right.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of people, they will say they reduce their volume, but the volume they reduce is like they reduce the days. So let's say they used to do like 6 days, now they do 3 days.
No,
For
no,
you,
no.
it's actually the opposite. You increase
Yes.
the frequency and then you reduce the volume in one session, which is smart. Wow.
Right, exactly. So now I'm able to recover, right? At 49, I'm able to recover from that. And what's crazy is like, I'm just as strong, if not stronger, on bench. Like I was just using bench as kind of like my marker.
Yeah.
And, just shortly after I came out of I was in a calorie deficit for over 8 months this year, right?
Wow.
So after Olympia, a couple weeks after Olympia, I was back to benching some pretty decent weight,
Wow.
365, something like that, 365 up. I've never been big on benching a lot more than 315. I do 315. I'm like, well, how many times can I do 315 then? Like, I was always on that. I was never been like a 1 rep dude. I'm always on a heavy volume type of stuff. So, again, I can't train similarly as I did when I was in my 30s or maybe my 20s, but because of how I train now, like my max output is just as good, if not better, in some lifts. Yeah, and I was able to prove that. So my performance was better this year, and my physique, I put out a really good, my best physique this year also at 49. I don't know anybody, like bodybuilders are retiring at my age, right? I don't know anybody at 49 that's peaking.
Yes,
Like that's
incredible, man.
And PRing, right? So the change up in how I train and bringing the peptides that help support that was a humongous played a humongous part in my success this year. I'll put it that way. And I talk about that because I want to showcase. Because again, on that PED side, I see these stacks these younger guys are using, and they're hitting the amounts of grams that they're taking in on these other compounds is astronomical. I've never touched the numbers these guys are touching, and they're in their 20s.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them are not even 20 yet. It's actually insane.
Yeah, like where's the are you thinking about longevity at all? So I talk about the peptides because I do believe you bring in peptides, because peptides is it's branched chain amino acids. It's your body's natural language. It's literally like text messaging your body, burn fat a little bit faster, right? Slow down aging. It's not the same as PEDs or other synthetic drugs. It is our natural language. Our body. That was the reason why I saw the success that I saw this year. I just took a step back and had a smarter approach. I mean, I've been retired for 6 years, watching my boys grow up. And this was the first year that I felt like I can get back out there, mix it up, and compete at a high level again.
So what clicked? You just said it yourself, like you're able to like dial it back. You're able to you even took 6 years off, and then you're able to come back. You focus more on your recovery and all that. What improved the most, and what did you learn about yourself that made you have like that standout season? Even you said it yourself, like the best physique you've ever had, and that's true. Like I could see it as well. Like over the years, for some reason, you just like been able to crack the code and look. I think there was a post you made. You're like, I think I just put that up with your wife, and you said you're reversing your age. Like that's the motto. That's the goal, basically. You're reversing your age each time, and it shows literally. Like that's what I'm always mind blown. It just makes me wonder, like, what literally clicked in this past year. In 2025, because that was a standout season for you. You literally got both Masters and Open Olympia running.
I had an amazing year, and the thing is, I didn't even plan it. I didn't plan it that way. I wasn't really I didn't plan to compete until I got the diagnosis on my back. Back in January, January timeframe, I re-injured my back. I'll tell you how I injured in the first place. I was in Taiwan about 8-9 years ago. This is before I was married, before Courage was around. So it had to be about 8-9 years ago. And I went to go see something that's equivalent of a chiropractor, I guess. And language barrier and everything else. I shouldn't have, they say no regrets in life. I regret that fully, because that was the day that my life changed with my back. They pinned my body down, my upper body, and then they tied a rope to my legs, and then they yanked it as hard as they could. So my spine did like that. Immediate pain.
So, what the hell?
Yeah, and I never went to the doctors. I rested, right? That was me, the young me. Just rest. I can't do it. I'm hurting. So I just rest and let try. Hopefully it heals on its own. That was a typical, like, you just throw a Hail Mary at it, right? So I've been dealing with that injury for over about 8 years, 9 years, close to a decade now. And then it keeps re-injuring. I gave up deadlifting, heavy back squatting because of this injury. And I would try to get back into deadlifting. As soon as I get up to around 4 or 5, my back will go out again. So I've done that like 4 times. So I decided to give it up. Right, I'm not lifting heavy like that for the gram no more. I'm just going to take care of my back. Anyways, last year I was messing with Courage. I picked him up, and I wanted to put him back down, but he was still climbing around. He wasn't ready for me to put him down, and he wouldn't put his feet on the ground. So I wrenched my back again. Then I went to the doctors. I went and got X-ray. Got X-rays done. They said, "Yeah, it's your L4, L5. You got a degenerative disease in it, and you should probably just calm down. Right? No more crazy lifting. Just settle down."
That's what they always say.
Right? Yeah, but that's general practice doctors, right? Not like sports. So I'm like, like, screw you. No offense, but I'm not sitting down and just taking this. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not built that way. We're gonna figure this out. And so, it lit a fire under my butt. I was pretty upset and angry about it, but I was like, look, I'm gonna find a way. I'm coming back. So that was the mindset. I got a hold of these natural anti-inflammatories. What's crazy is it worked like a steroid, but it's 100% natural. So that's what got me back moving and mobile again. And then shortly after that, I saw their advertising. Masters Olympia is going to be in Japan. I was like, what? Japan? That's where my mom's side's from. And that side of the family has never seen me compete live.
Oh.
A whole career. They've seen it on Instagram and Facebook, but never seen me physically there at a show live. I'm like, you know what? That needs to happen one time. I need to make it happen. Right. But I was a little at the end of my career, right, at 49, like, hopefully I'm not going to put out some washed out looking physique, right? That's so sad. Like, right, it's like Jordan coming back and playing for the Wizards. Nah, just stay your butt. Just retire, man. Retire like you should have. Don't come play for the Wizards. I want to leave on a high note. I don't want to do that. And luckily I was able to put out my best physique, but it was because of that. So it was because of the peptides and everything else. But so that was a mindset. When that came out, I was like, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get ready. I'm going to get back in. But man, I was 6 years off. I was still, I'm still a coach and a dad, and I'm doing all those things, but I wasn't a competitor anymore. I started the season off under 200 pounds. I was like 198 or whatever. And when I said I want to get ready for a show, like, my weight cap is 207. I'm just hanging out at 198. So I was like, crap, I got to bulk. So I did the most weirdest prep. Picked the show 16 weeks out. I wasn't even ready to cut in, like, to dial down for a show. I needed to bulk first.
Bulk first, yeah.
But I was all hyped up. I was all excited coming back. I could do this, and it wasn't bad. But so I took 9 weeks to bulk, 7 weeks to cut for a 16-week. Stepped out in Denver, and I missed my mark a little bit. If I would have had 2 more weeks, I'd have been sharp, but I was about 2 weeks out. So I had a good shape, good physique, but I wasn't crispy like I usually am. And I ended up getting second in Masters. I thought I was going to go snag my win for Tokyo and sit down somewhere and wait, and then prep for Tokyo. No, I got second place, which is crazy because in the Open, I placed ahead of them, right? They said, no, we're going to give this guy. I go, here we go. But so that taste, it left the crappy taste in my mouth, because I thought I was going to sneak over and grab a quick win and sit down. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't fully ready. So this dude beat me, and that second place just stung. It just sat with me. So I'm like, I came back to Calgary. I'm like, you know what? It helped me find that extra gear that I didn't put in that last prep, right? Because I had to knock the cobwebs off a little bit. I was still rusty, right? So after that second place, though, it really woke up the competitor in me. And I came back, and like I doubled my step count. So now I picked the show. We're going to go to Austin. So we went to Austin, and then I wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen again. So I went ahead and signed up I signed a contract for Austin, and then immediately signed a contract for Chicago. It was back-to-back weekends. Right? I wasn't going to come back to Canada. So I went to Austin for the show. I took 7th in the open category. It's pretty heavy. I think it was like 30 some odd pros there. So not bad. I feel like I should have done a little bit better, but okay, 7th place in the open, and I won the Masters. So I punched my ticket in Austin for Masters Olympia. And then 6 days later, I'm back on stage again.
Again for both.
Right. Yeah. 6 days later, I'm back on stage now in Chicago. Right. And it was a 2-day event. It was a Friday, Saturday event.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to get on stage Friday for Masters, clean house there, and then came back Saturday and won
the Open as well.
Yeah, which punched my ticket for Masters Olympia. So I think I might. I don't know if I'm. I don't want to speak out of turn. I think I might be the only person now to have qualified for Mr. Olympia and Masters Olympia at the same show by winning
right?
and the Open at the same show. There's guys who's done it, like Big Reef's done it. Arya, I believe he's done it. They've done it in the same season, but I think for me to win an Open and Masters category in the same show, I think I might be the. And
I think Andre Ferguson, right? He's on both Masters and Open, but not in the same season. I think
he's done both. Like, well, he did both last year. He did.
Oh, okay, we did both last year.
Because he won, right? He won Masters, and then he did the Open. But I don't think he's done that at the same
show. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. I think that was a show, so I was like, wait, what? Because I was confused. I was like, wait, I wasn't sure. I was like, what was happening? And then I thought, oh yeah, it was 2 divisions, like the Masters and the Open. I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was good. And so after the Chicago, then was Masters Olympia in Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. Olympia. So yeah, it was a crazy season. Denver, Austin, Chicago doubleheader, Tokyo also doubleheader because I had Masters one day, right? On a Sunday, and then on a Monday I had Tokyo Pro. So again, and that was the first time I did that. It was the longest season I've ever had, and also the first time I've done back-to-back shows like that. Back-to-back peak week weekends and back-to-back day shows.
Well, how many shows in total? 7? You did?
7. Yeah, it'd be 7. Yeah.
Oh, that's high. Wow, that's crazy. And then why did you do the Tokyo Pro? Because I know you already qualified for the Olympia.
Because it was I'm there. It's same venue. It's just the next day. I just got to tough it out. I just got to tough it out with water and the food for one more day, right? So might as well. And I also wanted to, like, I'm always going to do the Open, right? Because I want to showcase that I can still stack up against the guys and be a first call out dude, right? And not just go for the easy wins. And that's why I kicked myself in the ass, because Andre came out and was just cleaning up house this year. But like when I turned 40, I purposely didn't do the Masters category. I was like, no, right? Because I was like, nah, my skin's too good. Like that's for the old guys, not for me, right? My ego is too high up. I also felt like if I were to start doing the Masters, they're automatically going to not score me high in the Open category.
Yeah,
and that's true, right? But no, I found out this year, no. So I'm like, man, I could have been collecting checks for the past 10 years, easy money, right? Because there was no.
That's another thing too.
It wasn't robust. There wasn't that many bangers in the 40 plus. I could have been just easily cleaning up house for years. But now all the 30 something Olympians, right, are all now hitting 40. And now the Masters category is stupid. Like you can't. It's not. Before people used to kind of poke fun and kind of laugh at Masters. Like they didn't take the Masters seriously. So now that all the 30-year-olds that were Olympians are now 40 something and still competing, now Masters category is heavy. It hits hard. It's hard. It's a lot harder now than it was like 5 years ago.
With that being said, what is your vision for 2026 now? So are you gonna still be going for the Olympia? Still gonna be going for both Open and Masters, or what is the plan?
I'm not saying I'm going for any particular show. Well, I want to put out the best physique possible, whatever that may be. So I'm not in a rush to go, I got to go get this qualifier.
Nice.
At the end of the last season, I was coming off of a high. I thought I was going to do that, but no, I'm going to sit and I'm going to see what my physique does. I'm going to see what kind of muscle I can put on, right? In the right places. I'm not just trying to get big everywhere. I'm just trying to change my physique a little bit by spot checking. And if I put some lean tissue in the right places and then hold it, maintain it for a while, right? So it sticks and stays, then I'll step out. But I would predict for me now, I won't step out until the latter part of the year, right? I'm not even in my bulk phase yet. I'm still just finishing up my health phase. And I'm eager. I'm excited. Like my body's feel like it's rested. I feel good. My workouts are going decent. And yeah, I'm just going to further optimize them. I'm linking up with a clinic here called Game Day Men's Health, and all they are about optimizing men's health. So I'm super excited to get with those guys and further along my protocol. Last year I did everything by myself with the peptides and all that, but now I want a team behind me.
Well, that's smart from my end. Just because you started off with Fit Model or Beachbody back in 2010, and then you started doing men's physique. And do you see yourself ever doing classic?
I almost did, bro.
Wow.
Almost. Like, so when I crossed into the IFBB, so I relinquished my pro card back in 2018 with the WBFF, and then 2 weeks, like after Worlds, 2 weeks later, I immediately stepped on the NPC stage and got my national qualifier for Classic. Right.
Oh wow!
Well, a shout out to Dallas, to Texas, and just hopped on the stage there. Right, won the overall Classic, and then kind of one and done. And like, but I got married, so I didn't go to nationals that year. 2 weeks after that, I got married, so I sat out that year for the rest of 2018. Then in 2019, I thought, I had some coaches reach out, like Omar. I said, man, you should do men's physique, man. You can cross over and do men's physique and be a top call out guy. Like right now, you don't have to put on a bunch of weight, wait a couple years. So I thought that he made it sound really appealing. I'm like, I don't know, man. I want to do a whole posing routine. But I took my age into consideration, the fact that I just moved up to Canada and also just had a boy. It was time for me to make that switch. So I made the switch to men's physique. I took it with a grain of salt, listened to some people, and I thought, yeah, probably right. I could probably have a decent career if I just kick off things in the men's physique category now. But I got 240. I got my way up to 240. I thought I was going to do classic, and I decided now I'm going to go the other way around.
I think that was probably the smartest decision to make, because I feel like you'd have been pushing it, and then what you mentioned previously about longevity, that would have put you in a spot where you might have had maybe too much weight on your body, and then you never know. Like, but I feel like right now you're in this sweet spot where you've been able to crack the code, and like you said, keep looking younger. Even it's wild. Like the glow up from 2010 to now. If people see that, they're like, "What?" Like it's insane. Like it's actually insane.